Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
I have a question.
All yours.
I noticed there's no lightning conductor on the roof of this property, and this is quite a high lightning strike area. Can you tell me what provisions have been made for?
Sir, very good question. Obviously keen to do business, so am I. Very good question. Lightning strikes. Well, I think in this climate you're not going to find too many. However, all provisions have been made laid out in the Section 32 statement. So in relation to that would have to be contained by the vendor in the Section 32 statement, which I'll read very shortly indeed. I'm unaware. However, I would ask you to rely on the documentation as provided and inspected. Satisfy your question? Thank you very much. Let's go again. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for attendance and attention. Big crowd, big opportunity for you. So best wishes to you buyers, of course. We'll get to you very shortly. I know you're keen to get down to business. My name's Steve Abbott from Jellis Craig. I'll be your auctioneer here this afternoon. Friends, family, thanks for coming along. Buyers, to you, again, big opportunity. Very unique one, so I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to quickly proceed the contract of sale, pause for any brief questions you may have, then, of course, the exciting part, I'll call for your bids. The contract, which has been on display and available prior to today, simply tested the fact, of course, for offering Penthouse 2, 20 Runnymede Street, here in Battery Point. It's Block 2 on the strata plan, of course, being volume 143029, folio 2. Buyers, we're calling for a 10% deposit, customary in auction sales, 10% deposit, balance 60, 90, 120 days from today's date. Floor space for your benefit, 255 square metres in measure. Very good floor space indeed. Sir? Certainly. You're worried? Yes.
Your brochure talks about it being quite peaceful. What guarantees can you give me about peaceful?
Sure, or about your worry perhaps. Other than some earplugs, sir, I'm not sure at this point. But look, it's not a bad question. I guess with the inner city vibrant lifestyle that gives you the benefits of such locations, there's also things that go with it. I'm sure you've formed that view prior to today. But I do appreciate your angle. Good luck with your bidding. Any further questions or queries? Perhaps again I'll resume where I'm at. Nominational guarantee clauses in the contract for your benefit. If you're here today and wish to add another name at a later date, you may do so. In turn, like to purchase the property under a company or corporation name. We'll ask the director of that company to exercise the guaranteed indemnity within the contract. Quickly through the Section 32 statement, the zoning is residential, rates falling due $4,500, body corporate fees $20,000 per annum. That's it. So it's a very straightforward cash contract of sale, 10% deposit, as I said, balance 60, 90, 120 days from today's date. Any further questions or queries at this stage? Certainly here to help. Call them out, whatever they may be. No? Good. One last formality for me, and I'll call for your bids, buyers, so ready those for me if you will. I'm required under Schedule 1 of the Sale of Land Regulations 2008 to advise you by law that the auction be conducted in accordance with those rules and any additional conditions that may avail for inspection prior to the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to an successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price. As the auctioneer, I'll indicate bidders upon request. The law prohibits false bids and prohibits major disruptions by bidders and prohibits bidders attempting for others from bidding and provides fines for this conduct. The rules permit vendor bids, and the words I will use during the auction indicate I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid. By law, only I, as the auctioneer, may make a vendor bid. Lastly, possibly most importantly, but I doubt it given the interest we've had here today, if the property is passed in below the reserve price, the vendor will first negotiate with the highest bidder for the purchase of the property. So buyers, just to be clear, there are only two ways you buy the property today. If I fall short of my reserve price, make sure you're the highest bidder. I'll deal with that person exclusively in the first instance. If I reach my reserve price, I'll use words on the market or selling or similar, and you're playing for keeps at that stage. So just so we're clear. All right, any questions about the process at all? Or the rules of the auction? No. All right. A few words from me, and I'll call your bids. Three things came to mind as soon as I walked through the door. Exquisite, exceptional, expensive. Challenges all three for you. What else can I really say that you perhaps haven't already considered or dreamt yourself prior to today? It's a landmark auction, it's a landmark opportunity. So perhaps my reflections, thoughts for you, the best way to describe that. For mine, the property signifies the future. Hobart's full of history, but history can only be defined by those who create it. The property itself is simply outstanding. Standing proudly on top of iconic Salamanca Place, you feel like you're sitting on top of Hobart. Only two other properties or areas came to mind when I walked through the home. The Melburnian in Melbourne, looking over the entire city. It's currently on the market at 10 to 15 million. Russell Crowe's property at Woolloomooloo, bought for 18, worth about 30. that's the league you're in. A modern masterpiece, the property is itself. It's highlighted by those full-length feature windows that wrap right across the entire apartment with a view from every window. The kitchen meal styling flows that breathtaking living room that leads you to the fabulous wraparound observation deck that encompasses everything that is Hobart. 2 or 3 beds, a separate living room, of course, or the cinema room. Could be a spare bed for the guests that have a few too many down at Salamanca, but who knows? It's there for you to use. Of course, plasmas, C-bus, wiring, everything you expect of a world-class building is in place for you. 4 car spaces are on title as well. Perhaps you've got a town car there, not sure. As you jump off the boat at Royal Hobart, you might need one as you whip back through chimneys for a quiet one after a hard day sailing, back to the apartment to again enjoy that breathtaking outlook with friends. Of course, buyers, with Constitution Dock on your doorstep, again, you can only imagine in your own minds the sight of the flotilla of boats, the colour coming into Sydney Harbour as the yacht race ends. There for you to enjoy, year after year. I mentioned before Salamanca Place, as did the gentleman, the restaurants, bars, shopping, that comes alive, sir, and which you'll enjoy, I'm sure, along with Australia's largest outdoor market every weekend. It's a total feast and a total splendour for the eyes and the senses. A truly world-class proposition for you buyers, and one that is almost improbable to be offered to you again. Best wishes. Here to sell it for you, Penthouse 2, 20 Runnymede Street here in Battery Point. I need a fair reasonable bid to get you going, and I'll guide you from there. In your hands, buyers, best wishes. What do you say?
2.5.
Well done. Where was it? Number 11. All the best. At 2.5. We'll see where we go from there. 50s from there if you could please at 2.5. Appreciate the start.